This video is kindly sponsored by PCBWay. Thank you, PCBWay. Okay, the package from PCBWay arrived and it should contain the whole console case. So I'm opening this for the first time. Ooh, this looks interesting. Some paperwork which we just put to the side. Oh, it's all backed, so there should be 3 parts to this. And this should be the back cover, which is the smallest part to print. Ooh, this looks very nice, very smooth. And these edges, yeah, I was dumb enough to actually not use too many surfaces on the round edges here, so the console will have this edgy look. But it is what it is, and we can always use some sandpaper to just smooth it out. But this looks, wow, awesome quality. And this is the inside, and this is the outside, and here goes the USB port, here goes the HDMI port, here goes the power connector, and this is for the back plate of the Amiga 600. So, okay, well packaged, very nice, like it. Next we have the, I call this a drawer, because this is the part you just put into the case, gives some added stability, and you can put things on it, like the power supply, which I now have on the main board directly, so I don't need that. But we will mount the 4-player adapter there, and well, let's see, and very well printed. So here's a place for the Gotek. Here's a place where the PSU could clip in. Yeah, it says front, but it's actually the back. I'm an idiot. It's the front if you look at it like this. But it goes into the case like this, and the front case is here because there are the cutouts for the buttons and stuff and LEDs. Well, I could have made this a lot thinner, but I learned a lot. You will see in a minute what I learned and how I made use of that. And I was on the fence about actually printing it, oh man, in clear resin, but it would have been much more expensive. And I had to juggle my way around the price, because I will tell you what the price is in the end. It's substantial, but PCBWay did come through. I had to jump through a few hoops to make it happen. Oh, this is actually the other way around. Oh, here we have, I assume, some of these rulers, which you could also use as some solder practicing stuff for little components. Nice. Man, I was so looking forward to this case. I'm really happy. Ooh, wow. That just looks brilliant. Wow, this is so nice. This is so nice. Oh, these are actually moving. Wow. Should have probably put something on under here. Okay, so let's see if this tray fits in here. It goes in like this. Yeah, it does. Nice. And then you close it up like this. Oh, and there's our first problem. I don't know if you can see that, but there should have been a cutout here. Didn't see that in the model. Interesting. Yeah, the screw holes fit, which is good. And this is juggling around, so I did not have an idea how to fix this, but I can just put some stuff in here to hold it in place. But wow, 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 this looks so nice. This looks awesome. Okay, I think it's time to put the machine in the case. Oh man, I love this so much. Even though the edges are not smooth, I think this gives it that prototype look. And you can't make out that this is 3D printed. This is just awesome. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, man. It's so great to see something that you have worked on for hours and hours in the virtual world and see it become reality and something you can actually hold in your hands. That has some very special quality to it. I'm used to doing software which always stays virtual, but doing that kind of stuff is just a completely different thing. So wow, I'm a bit blown away, I have to say. This looks just awesome. And the great thing is, this is just one piece. I will show you another one of these things in a minute. Because, of course, I couldn't wait until this comes here. It took about 2.5 weeks since I ordered this. So I got busy and, well, you will see in the end. Stick till the end to see what else I have. So that will be interesting, I think. Okay, let's get assembling. Okay, so while checking if the buttons fit and all that stuff, I noticed that, well, I have to take some material inside of here away so that the button actually goes in. I have to take some material off here because the screws are not long enough. I have to recess them a little. They go in, but then they don't reach the connector on the other side. Same goes for the LEDs, same goes for the rotary dial, which would be here. So yeah, let me grab some stuff to drill. So I'm at it for a while now, and I finally managed to get the buttons in. This is a power button, reset button. This is the rotary dial, which I had to drill a bigger hole just to accommodate for the screw here because, well, I did not measure correctly. We have the screen in, which is a little Gotek screen. We have 3 LEDs for the drives, which you can see here. And a lot of cables coming out of this thing. So yeah, and you can see here my drill bit, which I used to drill for the rotary dial. A bit of resin, PLA. That worked good. Had to use longer screws for the controller ports. Let me show you. These are here. So we have a 4-player console. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So now it's time to get the Gotek and the A600 in there. And then we're good for a test drive. Okay, here's the box. The board is in here, and let me show you how this looks. I initially planned on mounting the Gotek and the PSU and miscellaneous stuff on this tray and slide that tray in here because there's actually some rails here. You can see here and here on the side. So I could put this tray up here while the motherboard is down here. But as you might see, it's pretty cramped in here. So I just decided to put the Gotek back in its case and stuff it in there. Yeah, so in general, this just slides in here. This is the A600 board with a metal shielding, and it just slides in here. And you have the back plate. You can mount your Gotek USB here so that you can remove the USB drive. You have a room for the HDMI here, which is not used right now, and for the power of the power supply. And you just put this on here. And then if I would have measured correctly, this would just fit nicely in here. But I did not accommodate for this little thingy here, so I have to make a cut out here to make this fit better. But as you can see, you then just can access all the I/O on the A600 because it's just exposed, which is pretty cool, and it actually works pretty nice. So it's all held together with 4 screws in this version here. So let me put in the screws and then we can actually take it for a test drive. And I'm using just M4 screws here. There's no threading because I'm lazy. And these just screw into the back here. And that works pretty well. Just don't over screw them or you will break the console. And it would of course be better to have threading in there. So you can close this up right now, but you can see there's a little bump up here. But it's nothing I'm too afraid about. Yeah, so that's the back of the console. And I think it looks pretty nice. Material is very, very sturdy. I also put some rubber thingies under the feet here so that it will better stand. And from the top it looks like this. So I have the rotary dial in here. I had to actually sand down this knob here because there's the console in the way of pushing this. So to make this pushable, I had to remove a bit of this knob here. We have the reset button, which works, power button, which is permanent button. This is just a push button. 4 controller ports, the Gotek screen, and 3 LEDs for power, drive, and hard disk. Hard disk is not in here yet, but it's connected. It would work if there was one. Yeah, so this is what this console looks from the bottom, and I think it came out just awesome. We have USB keyboard support because we have this USB keyboard thingy there, and I have this slick white keyboard which matches perfectly with this. Yeah, so we need power. I have my power supply, which can give more than 12 volts, but that's okay. Now it's 12 again, and this just goes into the back of the console like this. And we need this right here. By the way, talking about the video signal, I found this project right here, which is RGB to HDMI by Lorentech. And other than all the other solutions, this just uses a Raspberry Pi Pico. So I'm soldering this right now. I'm missing 2 components, 2 caps, which are needed here. And then you can connect your RGB signal here and get HDMI out here, which is pretty nice. And this cost, I would say about 25 euros, all the components and the PCB. So if I can get this to work, I will put this in the console and add the HDMI port. And then I have a real living room console which has HDMI support and can actually be plugged into a modern television, which is quite nice. So I'm working on this in parallel. Okay, let's connect a video. And the great thing is you have no cutouts or anything. You just use what's there, which I really like. Let's also connect a mouse. Oh, let's grab the cool tank mouse, the white one, which will match better. So I have this tank mouse here, which is the modern version, which works with USB. And I also have this little dongle here, which converts the mouse USB to 9-pin DIN. And we have that dongle in here. No idea. Oh, okay. Let's get it out like this. Switch it on. You can also use this as a Bluetooth mouse. And then you plug this right here in here, and this right here in here. And you have completely wireless setup. Wireless mouse, wireless keyboard. Nice. Very nice. I also have a white joystick, one of these retro Radionics Arcada joysticks, which is, in my opinion, the best joystick there is. Even better than my own creation, which I would rate second best. Okay. I think we're good for a test drive, so let's not forget to plug in. I have my exposed USB stick here, but you can of course use any USB stick you like. And that goes in the back now because I have connected the Gotek USB to this back port right here. Okay, I think we are finally good for a test. Let me change camera angles and then we're good to go. Okay, let's switch on the TV screen. And I will prop that up a little so that you can see the little Gotek screen light up. Like this, and fire. It says flash floppy, light goes on. And we have the Amiga, but we don't have a disk. I think it's my USB stick. Let me just wiggle this around a little. It's very flaky. And no, I think the stick is dead. Finally, it has given its all and it's not living anymore. So one final try, then I make a new stick. Ah, now it works. Yeah, we can just select what we want to load here. And let's say we want to do Amiga test kit. And off we go. And there we are. And the mouse is here. We can do a keyboard test, which also works. Hey, this is awesome. So yeah, as you can see, this is a working Amiga console. And if I go back to auto boot, let's Gauntlet 2. To auto boot and reset. Yeah, in here I can just configure what files I want to have on my thingy here. And you can see, yeah, it's the USB stick is giving up. Can't read the HXCSDFE config file, which is the file which stores all the disks you have to show on the drive here. Yeah, so that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I have to make a new USB stick, but let's use Hard and Heavy, which is the unofficial Great Gianna Sisters Part 2, by the way. Yeah, so that is the console. You could, of course, paint that. You could do all kinds of stuff with it. I'm thinking about doing the Amiga logo in red. Not sure yet if I should do that. And here we have Hard and Heavy. That goes. I'm not very good at this game. But as you can see, we have an Amiga gaming console, which is super cool. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so let's talk about what I would change in a second or third iteration of this. And then I have something very special in the end. What would I change if I would do it again? I would be better at measuring, but in the end, well, you never know. This is just some micro millimeters. You have room for keys and buttons and stuff like that. There's just so much you can measure with a normal ruler and stuff like that. So it's more like an art and less a science, to be honest, because you never know how precise the print will be. So I I'm pretty happy with the measurements I took on the front because they are all pretty much spot on. You could do these LEDs a bit tinier. I originally planned to put these black holders for these in here, but they just are not long enough because this is like this thick. So I would have to drill from the back side to make these fit. And I didn't want to do that. Button holes, yeah, they have to be a bit wider to just get the buttons in, but I love that they are recessed. This is great. I should have done this with this because this is just that plug here and I had to drill quite a lot out of here to just make it work. I will go and find better screws which are flat to put in here because I don't like the look of this. It looks very hobbyist. And I will print another knob here which is white, and I will maybe saw this off in half and then have a much flatter knob here to do this. You could also do this on the back side. Might have given a much cleaner look if this was on the back side, but yeah, I think the front pretty much is an Amiga front, and I took inspiration from the A1000 in terms of the bending and stuff like that. I'm an idiot because I actually could have had this very smooth and round. I will show you in a minute how this could have looked. On the back side, I would have done this hole a little more precise, so there could be 3mm here and 2mm here to just accommodate for the cutout. Would have been a bit nicer, but it's on the back side, so I don't worry too much. This should fit the HDMI thingy. And the idea to just use the metal shielding is great because I don't have to do precise cutouts here. So I may have separated this stand, which is its own plate, from the whole construction here. And I think it would have made it cheaper in printing. Yeah, but all in all, I'm very happy with this. The Amiga 600 is not the best machine to do a gaming console with. I just had this board and I didn't have a case for it, and that was pretty much why I started this whole project. And I'm super happy with how it came out. I love this retro design. It looks like an old radio or something. And yeah, combined with a wireless mouse and the wireless keyboard, this is could actually work in a living room, which is astounding to me. So I'm very happy with this. Let's talk cost. And I have the original invoice from PCBWay here, which I thankfully didn't have to pay. But if I would have, you can see, let me get this closer to the camera. The backplate cost $12.69, which is not too much for a print. And the backplate is this whole thing right here. Then we have the Gotek plate, which was $35.39, and you can completely omit this because yeah, you can do it, but it doesn't fit in there anyway if you use cables like me. And then we have the case itself, which is $198.16. So this costs 200 euros just without the backplate, and with the backplate it would be 212 euros all in, which for a nice case is okay, I think. The main cost, I think, is because I made this thing just super thick. So all the walls are like this centimeter thick, and it doesn't have to be like this. It gives it some weight and some feels quality, which is great, and I love that. But I think you could reduce the cost by 50 euros or even 60 euros. I will make this open source, so you can download it from my website and you can have the models in as STL files and modify them as you like. I used Tinkercad, as I said, which is the kindergarten version of real 3D modeling software, I would say. But it's right for me because I understand it and I can use it, and I'm pretty good at it right now. So you can see this came out good. Just a little idiotic thing that I forgot to add more faces to the rounding here. But I learned my lesson. Yeah, so that is if you want to go the big box, I call this the big box route. if you have a Mister or a Raspberry Pi, you can use this case and it will look awesome. And you can also use these front cutouts for USB controllers, and you don't need this right here. But I have something different for that. Let me show you. So this right here is the AmigaBox Mini, and it's pretty much the little brother or sister or whatever you want to call it. Since it's Amiga, it's maybe the sister. And I did a second design because I couldn't wait until this box arrives. And I thought, hey, why not do or try to do a design which is printable at home? And I have an Ender 3D V3, the version 3, which can print up to 22 by 22 by 28 centimeters. And that was just didn't work. This box is a bit taller or a bit wider. And so I had to print it in two parts. But if you take a look from the underside, you can see this part, the stand, is printed as one part and it's separated. So you can take it off and just use this box if you don't want a stand. And it's just clipped in here. I again took inspiration from the A1000. And if you take a look at the A1000, you see that there are actually vertical lines on the front. And since we don't need the screen, there's no screen here. Since we don't have a floppy drive, there's no third LED. Since we don't have DB9 ports, which you could have theoretically, we have two USB ports in front and one in the back, and an HDMI and one cutout for power. We have reset and power, which I will swap around so that the power button is also on the right side, and I don't have another red button. I would like to have a red button so they look more identical. We don't need this here because you do all the stuff over the joystick or the keyboard. And these are two separate parts that you can print, these insets here, and these are the front parts which are just glued on here with hot glue. And in the back side, with magnets, you can just take this off or put it down. It will snap into place. And yeah, it's the same. You can put in whatever you like, be it a Mister or a Raspberry Pi. And then you have your own little gaming console, which is about 2/3 of the original size. Height-wise, it's the same, so there's no problem putting in a Mister stack in here or a Raspberry Pi. You can design your own thing to put in here, or you just mount it like however you want. There's plenty of room also in here. You can put it in here, or you can. What my idea was to put in a power bank on this side and the machine on the other side, and have completely off the grid, at least off the power grid, gaming console. Again, I would change the screws here, which are not too nice. Yeah, and I will also make this design public domain and make it for free, so you can also download this design, and you can also print this design with PCBWay and don't have to print it at home. This takes to print, this part takes 8 hours, this takes 6 hours because it's just two boxes. If you check from behind, they're pretty thick here, and this is one box, this is one box, depending on your printer, of course. These backplates take, let's say, 2 hours per, which is 4, 10, 18, and again 4, which would make this a 22-hour print. And then you have your own box at home, if you want to do that. But if you compare the quality, I mean, there's no doubt that this is 10 times nicer than this here. And maybe I can get PCBWay to print this in the same way. This has much less thick walls, so it should be, this could be, I think, maybe a €100 case. And for that, I think it's pretty nice, and it's very lightweight, of course. This has no weight at all because there's no material in here and no machine yet. I have a Raspberry Pi 4 lying around here to put in here, but I haven't done this yet. So this might be a different video. Yeah, and you can see I use these black thingies here. I think it's nicer without them. And I should have done the recessed buttons here also, and I did the cutouts better, which is a plus. Yeah, so this concludes this AmigaBox series, I think. I will not do a part 3 until I have something else to add here, like the HDMI thingy. But yeah, if you like the design, just use it, make it your own. If you don't like it, I can't help you. It's a matter of taste. I'm sorry. And if you think I should have not put an A600 board, which I had lying around, into this case, and it's against all the human rights there, then, well, can't help you there too, because I don't have an A600 case for this, and now it's in a nice shiny box, which I totally dig. Okay, again, thanks for watching. I hope you like this. See you around, and until next time. Bye-bye. Thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. If you need any PCBs, pre-assembled PCBs or 3D printing, please use the link in the description below.
Thank you for watching Retro is the New Black. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you like the video, please share. Every like, share, and comment helps a lot. Until next time, bye-bye.